Hi everybody, I'm back again after a bit of a break. The reason being I've had a lot of work on, so I haven't had time to do videos for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I did try and do a video yesterday and it was of Catwoman, but while I was doing the video, because I was doing it all one-handed, I broke the goggles on her mask, so I've had to order a replacement. So as soon as those replacement goggles come through, I will do a video on her. It'll probably be a week or so. So I just thought I'd show you this one. This is Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe Retaliation. Film wasn't too bad, it wasn't brilliant, but it's watchable. But the character, it's an awesome character. What I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to show you him as he is now, just a normal stance, and go over the clothing and show you a few of his accessories. But I will do later on in the video pose him up with his accessories so you can get a better look at him there. So clothing wise, we'll start with the mask. This is actually moulded onto his face, but this is like a fabric around the mouth and the nose. Nice sort of fabric, great detailing on it. It looks leather, the whole suit looks leather, but it's not. Now it's in focus. Different layers on the clothing, different mediums as well for the clothing. Nice little detail, his little buttons, and the silver showing through on his shoulder. Again, say this looks leather, but it's not. It would have been nice if Hot Toys had put some wiring in the actual jacket, so that you can pose it up a lot better. But all in all, I like it. There's his weapons, which I'll show you a bit later when I'm posing him up. Again, on the arm, slight silver sort of shining through. This is a slightly different material to the white. Posability wise, pretty good for posability. I've got no issues with it. You can get some pretty good sort of bends because it's a fabric on the arm. The arms do bend up quite nicely. Again, you might be restricted a little bit up here, which you normally are with all Hot Toys figures. It's a bit tight. Same with the crutch for opening the legs up. Clothing tends to be a little bit tight, so it's a bit difficult to get some really extreme poses, but he bends fine at the knees. Again, on his trousers, he's got the silver carrying on, similar to what was on his arms. It's down again on his legs. I'm not very good at explaining clothing, but you can get a good idea just by looking at it. Shoes look like trainers. Move it up a bit so you can see. Looks like he's got trainers on, but nicely detailed. A little bit of weathering on there, so they do look a little bit dirty. Same with the gloves. These are moulded, it's all moulded plastic, but it has got a sort of a weathered look to it. There's a little bit of dirt in the actual seams there. Leather type belt, on which at the side here is a pouch that does open up, and inside there are the shurikens. You'll see them when I pose him up with the shurikens in his hands. And likewise on the other side, very simple gun holster. Just move his arm out of the way. Leather sort of look with the typical Hot Toys pistol, where the clip does come out and shows you the bullets, and it has got a cocking action. But actually you'll be able to see the gun again, a little bit more detail when I've got it in his hand when I'm posing him up. So what does he come with? Apart from 5 shuriken, his pistol, he comes with 9 hands. He's got 2 fisted here. He's got 2 hands that are open palmed like this, left and right. Let's get into focus. A little bit bright here today, but it's nice detailing on the gloves. Just about pick it out there. He's also got a left and right hand open grip. This is for obviously holding his swords and his knives. And again on the other side. And he's also got two of these. Now these can be used for holding the shurikens. I'm assuming that's what they're for. And one other hand, which is obviously the gun hand. He can only hold that in his right hand, so he doesn't have a left one. What else does he come with? If I move him round to the back, he's got two katanas, one long one and a shorter one with the sheaths. You have to push these into the back. He's also got two fighting knives. I'm not 100% sure what the names of these are. I'm sure someone will tell me. He's got two of those which you have to place up in his sleeves as well. And he also comes with a separate head sculpt if you wish to show him that way. And it's this one here without the mask on. Very nice detail, great paint job, great sculpting, does look like the actor, can't think of his name offhand. But it's a great alternative if you wish to show him without the mask on. But I'm never gonna show him like this. I prefer him with the mask. But I will pose him up with this head on later, so you can have a look at what he looks like with it on. Also, one other thing, nearly forgot, is this. What you do with this is on the swords here, you can pop off these two ends, place this inside one, and the other one will connect up, so he's got double swords joined together. And again, when I pose him up later, you will see that in action. So there's just a quick sort of overview of the figure. It is a working zip. You can undo it if you wish. I wouldn't advise it. And obviously his standard boring stand. So as I said, there's an overview of the figure. I will pause it here, and when I come back you will see him in a different pose, and I'm going to do a few poses with the swords first and then move on to other weapons. Okay, here's one simple pose. He has both his swords in his hands. They are a very tight fit in his hands, so be careful of that when putting them in. Don't push them in by using this part, because you can snap it. Just be gentle, gently push it in, and it will go eventually. I have noticed that it is a bit of a problem to open his legs up, because this is very tight here. But let's go on to the swords. They are metal. The handles are exactly the same. He's obviously got his clan emblem on each of the swords there. Very nice. Great detailing on them. What I will do is I'll do another couple of poses with his swords, so you can get a better look. Hopefully I can come up with something a little bit better than this. So when we come back he will change. Okay, here we have a slight variation on the last pose. A little bit better. I've managed to get the swords to slip in and out of his hands a little bit better. But be careful when pushing them in, because this bit does tend to come off. So you might lose it in the hand, you'd have to push it out. So I advise, if you're going to put the swords in first, take this bit out and then slip it on after it's in his hand. Again, a little bit limited with his leg movement. He does have a bit of ankle articulation, so that's pretty good. But all in all, not a bad pose. And we come back, he will be in another slightly different pose. I will try and vary these a lot more. Again, another slightly different pose. I have to be quite quick with this video because my battery's running out. So just one more pose with these swords and this head, and then we'll change it around a little bit more. Okay, I've had to bring him over towards my computer because I've had to re-plug in my phone because the battery's running low, and I don't want to have to go over this again. So here we can see he's got both hands on his sword. Nice sort of glint off the metal there. I've found that his left hand is a lot tighter than the right, so it's a bit difficult to get it in there. Again, limited to the leg bend. Okay, and now we'll move on to something a little bit different. Here we have a view from behind. Again, something slightly different. Sort of what I was going for. If I show you on the computer here, this sort of look, get the right sort of lighting, it will be an awesome stance. Okay, now we're going to switch round to change his weapons around a little bit. Here we have him with his two knives. Again, I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but these are plastic, they're not metal like the swords. The ends don't come off either, it's all one piece. So if I turn him around to the back, these are the little sleeves that you just slide the knives up in. Do be careful though, don't put too much force on because you could possibly rip the stitching. And we move on to the next. Here we have him with his handgun. I'll show you that in a bit more detail. If it'll focus, there you go. So the clip does come out showing the bullets, and it does cock as well. And here he is with his two swords joined together. Really is nice the way they've done that. Absolutely superb. I might just show me my detail with this weapon actually. Now we'll move on to the next. Here he is with his alternate head sculpt on. And the long weapon, a dual weapon should I say. The more I look at this figure, the more I love it. Just a couple more poses to show you and then I'll wrap the video up. Here he is in under the stance, holding the weapon upright. I'm really disappointed with the fact that you can't open the legs up that much. Really are limited to how you do that without putting a real strain on the clothing. But as you know, I don't pose my figures in extreme poses in the detolfs, so it's not too much of an issue, but it will be for a lot of people. Okay, just one more pose with his shuriken and then I'll wrap the video up. Okay, here he is with his shuriken. I said earlier in the video that he had 5, he doesn't, he only has 3. They look metal, but they're not, but they are bloody sharp. That's the shuriken. And they fit nice and snug in these hands. Sorry these poses haven't been brilliant. It's because I just couldn't get the legs how I wanted them to go. Is it just my figure? I don't know. Other people comment, but say those trousers are really tight and it's just so awkward to open up the legs to get some really good poses, but never mind. It's still a brilliant figure. Is it worth getting? Yes. If you like ninjas, then definitely go for this guy. This is definitely the best Storm Shadow that's out there at the moment. I think Sideshow are releasing another one in camouflage gear that looks quite good, but I don't think the quality will be as good as this. Posability wise, you'll probably be able to pose him a lot better than the Hot Toys version. But I'll put him in his final stance that I'm going to be putting him in the Detolf in, and then I'll just give you a quick look all around the figure, maybe a final few sort of points, and that'll be it. So here we have Storm Shadow. My final thoughts: a little bit disappointed, as I said, with the leg articulation around the groin, but other than that, I do love this figure. It's well worth getting. It definitely stands out. When I do my update videos, you'll see him in the Detolf. Sorry, my flash has just gone off because my battery's virtually gone. When you see him in the Detolf, I'll have him squaring up against Snake Eyes. Glad I got him. I just had an email from Sideshow stating that my Bruce Willis figure from this movie will be in stock in about 2 weeks' time. Normally when that happens, it's normally about 3 weeks before I get him. So hopefully within the next 3 weeks I will have that figure in my hands and you'll be able to see it. I've had an email from Big Bad Toy Store that the Hulk has come in and they are processing my order at the moment. So he should be the next figure that comes my way. But hopefully if I get that replacement face mask and goggles for Catwoman, that will be my next video of a new figure. I might do a couple of posing videos better than this one. But it'll be interesting to see what sort of poses other people come up with, if they've got the same problem that I have with the legs. So, until my next video, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll try not to keep it as long in between the next video. And I'll see you guys later.